So much speculation goes into what the final divisional standings are going to look like for each and every single division in the NFL. So earlier today, I ended up going through this very rigorous process where I predicted each and every single game from each and every single team. And I have come to my final conclusion of how this entire landscape of the NFL is going to finish by the time the playoffs are around. So today, I am going to be giving you my final record predictions, final division standings of the AFC East. I plan on doing each and every single division for the next couple of days, so make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on bell notifications so you never miss an episode. Folks, this video is powered by BetUS. That is right, the best sports book on the face of the planet. And when I tell you about promos, each and every single sports book on the face of the planet has their promos trying to get people to sign up. BetUS has the best promo on the damn planet this year, folks. I'm talking. They are matching 125% of your first 3 deposits all the way up to $2,000. It is the place to go for money lines, for point spreads, for over-unders, player props, all kinds of different sports. BetUS, you need to sign up. Link is in description right now. And for any of you that are curious about what my takes are on the AFC East, here is what BetUS has to say about the AFC East. So again, make sure you hit that description and check it on out yourself. So coming in 4th place, I have the New England Patriots, and I have them finishing out the season 3-14. And I understand that sounds pretty harsh. Many of you might say, oh, look at your background, Dan, you're a Buffalo Bills fan. I'm sorry we ruined your childhood. I'm sorry that we had to force you to watch Tom Brady absolutely embarrass you for the past couple of years. However, I do want to go out here and say that this was as objective as humanly possible. And I think anybody that has higher expectations for the New England Patriots should definitely take a long look in the mirror. First off, when it comes down into it, what the Patriots were known for was their defense. And up until a couple of days ago, their only redeeming factor was a considerable pass rush and defense by itself. Moving on from Matthew Judon, trading him to the Atlanta Falcons, while you still have so many question marks pertaining to Christian Barmore, when the hell is he going to come back? That is a massive miss for this organization, and that just screams this is full-on rebuild. Maye is obviously starting from the ground up. There's probably a lot of things from the Belichick era that needs to be raised up and sculpted in what Gerard Mayo wants to see from this squad. When you end up ruining a pass rush like this, it's going to ultimately end up falling back and affecting your secondary. So I think this defense is not going to be able to help them win many games. And then now there's so many question marks pertaining to the quarterback situation. I still think there is no reason why you need to put Drake Maye out there. I was impressed by him during his second preseason outing, although there were several red flags that came up during training camp. Ride with Jacoby Brissett, especially with all the question marks surrounding the New England Patriots offensive line. So this is not only going to affect the efficiency of Ramondre Stevenson, but it's also going to be a nightmare for whatever quarterback they decide to throw out there. They have a young and inexperienced wide receiver squad. This is going to be a very rough year. However, if the Patriots do it correctly, if they start Brissett, maybe throw Maye out there midway through the season, see some flashes and start building around him next offseason in free agency and draft well, I think they can take a step in the right direction. But this year, lock it down. New England Patriots are finishing 3-14. Now, 3rd place, I have the Miami Dolphins. And folks, I did end up putting out my entire divisional prediction on X. And as I'm sure you can imagine, several Dolphins fans were upset with me. And they said, Dan, this is just borderline disrespectful, man. Why do you hate the Miami Dolphins so much? And again, I want to remind everybody that I took this exercise as objective as humanly possible. Hence why I have them going 7-10 this year. Some might think this is a troll, but I can assure you it is not. I do not have any confidence in the world in this Miami Dolphins team for a variety of different reasons. Number one, their offensive line is an absolute liability. With a lot of key departures and a lot of a giant rolling around carousel, Their left tackle is only good about 7 to 8 games a year. There's way too many question marks at this point. They don't have a quarterback in Tua that has been proven to be able to roll outside of the pocket, extend plays, buy himself some extra time. We know that he is a spot thrower. We know that he is a first read, maybe second read guy. And if you account for all of the protection issues that you have for Tua, he's going to have to hope that his first read, his second read are open almost instantaneously. I have a lot of respect for Mike McDaniel. I think that he can scheme maybe a lot of pre-snap motion that can get that first and second read open immediately. But say this Miami Dolphins team ends up going against a defense that has a quality pass rush and can run effective zone, I just really have a hard time seeing this Miami Dolphins team being able to make any noise. And offensive line is not even so much an issue for protecting the quarterback, but it's also a massive issue for being able to implement this overall run game, especially if they want these running backs to make some plays in between the tackles, be a north and south guy. I think that their overall offensive scheme can easily be game planned if you have a semi-decent defense. Second off, with the Miami Dolphins, I have massive concerns with their run defense in general. What's going to happen with this? Losing out on Christian Wilkins, I have a feeling that a lot of teams, and I'm looking over at their schedule right now, and they are facing some very good running backs this year. A lot of teams are going to be walking into Miami, walking in to face Miami, and they are going to absolutely pound the rock. I see that spelling trouble for the Miami Dolphins, regularly losing time of possession, and I think ultimately that is going to screw them. I like their secondary. I think their secondary will be able to be their saving grace for a lot of things, but if they don't have any answers for stopping the run with their massive downgrades in defensive line and their lackluster linebacker play, it's going to be a long season, and Tua is going to have to score very, very fast. 7-10 is where I have them. I could easily see them going like 8 wins, maybe 9 wins, but the schedule is not ideal. And then unfortunately, like every single year, November and December, when they start to get into some of these colder games, the stats just don't suggest that they are going to be able to come out victorious. So the Miami Dolphins are 7-10. Next up, I have the New York Jets at 11-6. And one thing I want to say is that everybody is obsessed with the fact that Aaron Rodgers only played, 3 or 4 snaps last year during the Week 1 matchup. And everyone's throwing out that false narrative saying, oh yeah, we'll see if Aaron can get through the entire season. Aaron Rodgers wasn't known to be an injury-prone quarterback. Now, I will tell you that I certainly accept that he is 40 years old. He is recovering from an Achilles injury, which is certainly no walk in the park. However, I think the New York Jets ended up really addressing the trenches, number one, right in that offensive line. They have an incredible run game. If you have been watching Braylon Allen play in the preseason, him and Breece Hall together is going to be absolutely disgusting. Add in a Garrett Wilson, who is going to be playing with the best quarterback he's ever played with for an entire full season. I've been super high on Malachi Corley out of the slot, and Mike Williams appears to be ready to go Week 1. There is no question. I'm not delusional here. This is one of the best rosters in football. I'm sorry I said it. And is there even a reason for me to dive in to what this defensive roster looks like? Sauce Gardner is the best corner in football. You still have DJ Reed. You have Quinnen Williams. You have his brother Quincy Williams, who is an absolute star-studded linebacker. Still have CJ Mosley. Safety squad is not that bad. Even if Aaron Rodgers were to go down for a couple of games, I trust this defense to pull out a couple of victories for them, especially since they even upgrade on the QB2 situation. Last year, if the New York Jets were able to put up the league average in offensive points, they would have won like 12, 13 games. I think Tyrod Taylor is the man here. The only thing that's going to screw the New York Jets is coaching mistakes, but we shall see. I have the Jets going 11-6, and I have them booking their ticket into the playoffs. And number one, first place, I have the 12-5 Buffalo Bills. And I know a lot of the haters are going to come out, and even some of the people in Bills Mafia that don't agree with me. They're obsessed with how many departures that we have. They are obsessed with some of the injuries that we sustained so far during this offseason. Well, folks, Let me actually talk to you about why a lot of this, you shouldn't be worried about this in the first place. Let's take a look at some of the key departures that we had from this team. Number one is Tre'Davious White. I loved what he was able to do for this organization. But folks, let's stop pretending we haven't had a full Trey White year for 2 full years. We know how to play without Trey White. Number two, oh my God, no more Poyer, no more Micah Hyde. Folks, we have not had Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde play a full season together in almost 3 years. Both of them were always rotating injuries. I think actually after counting, I think for the past 2 years, we had 8 full games where we had Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde both healthy on the field by itself. This team is fully capable and knows how to play without Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, that tandem. We already have the answers to that, and that's what just completely blows my mind. Next up, Matt Milano. Yes, he was injured. Were we all excited to watch him and Bernard play together this year? 110%. But folks, let's stop pretending like we didn't play week 6 through the end of the season without Matt Milano. We have Terrell Bernard, who really rose to the occasion as that middle linebacker. And even if Dorian Williams can step up to fill in for Matt Milano, how do you think we adjusted to not playing with Milano last year? It was all about the scheme. We ran a lot of dime packages, 6 DBs, just one linebacker out there in the first place. So even if our experiment with Dorian Williams or Andreessen or Morrow or whoever we attempt to put out on the field, the Buffalo Bills, again, have the answer to that. So one thing I just want to put out there is that there's zero mystery in what this defense is going to do. You look across our entire defense right now, and each and every single one of our star-studded players that we are excited about. Think of Taron Johnson, think of Christian Benford, think of Bernard. None of these guys were drafted in the first or the second round. It just speaks volumes at how well this defensive coaching staff is able to develop players. And if you don't think that Dorian Williams can take a massive step ahead, if you don't think that some of these second and third string players can take a massive step in overall production, I don't know what you've been watching, because all of the evidence is right in front of your face. So I guarantee you this defense still finishes top 5 in several categories. Now, next up is the offense. Everybody is obsessed with the fact that Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis are gone. Everyone is saying, oh, Dan, dude, I have no idea what this offense is going to look like. And I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I want to really cement this in everybody's heads. What made the Buffalo Bills great last year, everybody that was the focal point of that offense has returned. It's like, let's stop pretending that Joe Brady did not completely phase out Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis entirely the second that he took over. What made the Buffalo Bills great, what made us effective, was James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, and Khalil Shakir. And guess what, folks? Each and every single one of those players are healthy and are still on this roster. On top of that, we end up adding a Ray Davis, who is going to be a tremendous complement right to James Cook with an absolute different skill set, north-south runner. His yards after contact is something that should be getting us all excited. And then we ended up drafting relatively well as well. You have Keon Coleman, who I know hasn't really been splashing in the preseason, but no one's expecting him to be the first one in targets. So I still have that being Dalton Kincaid. But if Keon Coleman can prove to be a red zone threat for us, our true 50-50 ball guy, is where we don't need to worry about drops. Cough, cough, Stephon Diggs, cough, cough, Gabe Davis. And we're looking at the entire same offense right here. And then again, in case anybody forgot, we have the most important position in football figured out. We've had it figured out for the past 5 to 6 years. Josh Allen, our quarterback. So folks, that's exactly why I have the Buffalo Bills finishing on top of the AFC East. The playoffs are an entire different story. I really hope that McDermott can get over the hump. And everybody laughs at me when I say this, but you know what? I wouldn't be opposed if some team took care of the Chiefs in the playoffs right before we have to play them in the first place. That's what I got. Sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this. Subscribe to the channel and turn on bell notifications. I'm going to be releasing a video for each and every single division. I sincerely hope that you tune in. And so until next time, see you later.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.